For more on this and President Trump's big, beautiful bill that just cleared the House, let's bring in House Homeland Security Chair, Tennessee Congressman Mark Green. Mr. Chairman, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
So fixing the border has been a huge priority for President Trump and you as the Homeland Security Chairman. Let's take a look at some of the provisions that would address our situation at the border. $46.5 billion for border barrier system, $5 billion for bolster CBP facilities, $4.1 billion for additional frontline CBP personnel, and $2.7 billion for border surveillance technology. Are these critical tools for the border mission?
Yeah, absolutely. We have to create the wall to canalize. It's a military principle. It forces people into certain areas where you can concentrate your personnel, and it's a huge, huge help. As far as the technology goes, looking into Mexico to see what the cartels are doing, looking at what's attempting to cross the border, being able to get that information in real time to the people who will use it, those are critical things to securing our border. And I think what's great about the vote this week is we told the world, we are going to respect the sovereign border of this country and establish security at that border.
It was a tight vote in the House. Do you worry about substantial changes when it goes over to the Senate?
Absolutely. And the senators should know this. If they want provisions in this bill, they pretty much have to go with what this is a threaded needle. And because we have, the problem, Republicans, it's not really a problem. It's a good thing. We represent our district. Mm-hmm. Democrats vote their ideology, and our districts are different. Fitzpatrick's different than my district. So we have to put it together very difficultly and perfectly.
So the Trump Justice Department has moved to dissolve the Flores decree, which my understanding is gives Border Patrol 72 hours to handle migrant children. How do you see that policy, sir?
So that policy was the implementation of a circuit court on the entire country. No Congress ever voted that into law. No legislative body whatsoever. It was just some judge once again exercising judicial overreach into what is Congress's responsibility in the Constitution. So I totally agree with the president. And the deals that were cut between that circuit court and Obama made it even worse. Any adult that accompanied a small child got released as well. And the Biden administration only released almost 300,000 people in that category. So essentially, it's like a bad incentive, a perverse incentive. Anybody who just grabs a kid and comes into the country gets released. And that's resulted in human trafficking of children. That needs to change, and it needs to change immediately.
A federal judge late Friday stopped a deportation flight to South Sudan. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says it will cause irreparable harm to foreign policy. You're also on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Yeah. How do you assess that issue?
I agree with Secretary Rubio. We can't have judges deciding the foreign policy of the country. That is not in their purview. It's not in the Constitution. And these radical judges that have been placed by the left are attempting to run the country from their bench, and that can't happen.
We saw President Trump yesterday up at West Point for graduation. You are a proud alum. You wore the uniform of the United States Army for about a quarter century. Yeah. What did it mean to you to go with the Commander-in-Chief back to West Point?
Well, it was great to hear the president rally the troops to be warriors. One of the best lines, I think, in his speech was, "You're going to charge into hell and Satan's going to run from you." I loved that. This warrior ethos is returning to our military. Recruiting is through the roof. We're breaking records, all because we got a commander-in-chief now who, one, loves the soldiers, and two, is willing to equip them and take away those woke policies that robbed that warrior ethos from their heart and mind. It was also, memorable for me because just being back at my alma mater and actually the first nominee that I actually, made at West Point for West Point as a congressman. She graduated yesterday, and I got to help pin lieutenant bars on her. That was pretty emotional for me.
That sounds like a very special moment.
Yeah.
Chairman Mark Green, thank you so much for coming in.